Greetings and welcome to IMS Today. Today we have Ambassador Rahul Chhabra. Sir is former Secretary Economic Relations. Sir has served in many countries like China, Belgium, United States, Philippines and many more. We welcome you, sir. Sir, my first question is that you are an alumnus from a very reputed college. So what do you think is the importance of Model United Nations or MUN for the students who are actively participating in it?
Thank you so much, firstly, to have me on your show. It's extremely important to understand the role of the United Nations in today's context, because it is really the only body that exists that covers the entire world. Every country sits around the table at the United Nations. What they agree to has been agreed to by the whole world. So it is where policies are made at a global level. So it's very important that students like you and in your college and across the world actually understand the importance of it going forward, because you are going to come into these sort of organizations and make policies for the whole world.
Sir, how do you feel that the Indian foreign policy tackled the challenges?
Indian foreign policy, as I mentioned in my lecture, I think some of you heard it, has evolved quite a lot and has been quite adept in trying to handle all these challenges that we've been facing. Now, COVID, with all this sort of Ukraine war, creating a problem with food, fuel, evacuating people. So our neighbors, there's lots of challenges that we have been facing, and the Indian foreign policy has been adapting, changing the speed of response, the type of response. As the situation demands, we have been trying to adapt to that.
Sir, as we know that India is a third world country to be the part of G20. So what is your experience and observation on this transformation of India?
Firstly, we have to understand that the G20, by rotation, every country gets to hold it. So it is now India's turn. It happens to come to India's turn because it is done by rotation, the chairmanship of the G20. There are other countries also who have held the chairmanship, and so all 20 will get the turn every year by rotation. So it's a good time for India to get the turn now at this time. So with all this sort of situation, the world in turmoil, India's role, India's voice will be even more heard on this global platform, where policies will be discussed in all fields, economic, security, though it's actually supposed to be only an economic forum. But they will discuss, obviously, when leaders of these important countries get together, they discuss about anything and everything. There's nothing is off the table. And these are all the global leaders. So it's a good time for India to be the chair of this G20.
Sir, as we know that India is strengthening up their relations with Israel, especially on the military fronts. And even along with this, India is also supporting Palestinians. So do you think, is it a matter of conflict?
That is what diplomacy is all about. You know, you have to tread a very fine line. You have only talked about Israel-Palestine, but like that, there are so many other issues across the world where Indian diplomats or diplomats of any country are navigating between both sides, and these are all conflict or near conflict situations. But as I said, diplomacy is like what you do at home also. You know, what your mom says and what your dad says may be quite different, but in the end you are navigating a fine line and trying to sort of come to a balance. So the same way here in diplomacy, different sides there are different opinions, different viewpoints, maybe quite different, but Indian diplomats have to sort of tread that fine line and move forward with both sides.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time. This is DIXIT with cameraman Ayush Sharma, IMS Today.